Hey, I am baking. A couple words that you probably will never hear me say again, but I had some ripe bananas, and what else do you do with really ripe bananas besides make banana bread? Now, the key to this recipe is making sure you throw out your trash right after you're done so those banana peels don't stink up your apartment or your house. I'm going to go through the steps real quick. The oven's preheated at 350. I have my loaf pan buttered and ready to go, and all my ingredients are almost pre-measured, except the flour because I have to use a measuring cup again. But in the bowl, I have 5 ripe bananas, 1 apple, and a sprinkle of cinnamon. So I grated an apple in just because I had one that was also very ripe, and so I'm making banana apple bread. Alright, that's I don't know how much butter. I'm doubling the recipe, so I'll explain this all. I'll write it all in a comment, but so I have, it calls for 1/3 of butter for one, so I've doubled 1/3 of butter, so 1/3 a cup of butter or whatever, you know, so figure that out. I'll explain it in the comments. I have 2 eggs and 2 teaspoons of vanilla and Michelangelo, thank you. I have 1.5 cups of sugar, and it basically said that you can adjust that however you want. I've taken out a little bit of the sugar. Hold on a second, let me put a towel under here so my bowl doesn't spin. A nifty little trick that I'm happy to share with you. So here's my towel. Yanni will be happy to see that red towel being put to use. So here's bananas, 1 apple, a little bit of cinnamon, melted butter, sugar, eggs, and vanilla. So you want to get that all incorporated, and you're going to add 2 teaspoons of baking powder and 2 pinches of salt. And I basically said sprinkle that over the mixture, so yes, sir, recipe. Alright, so mix that in. I don't know why they had us mix that in a different step, but you know, I'm just doing what they tell me. I'm no baking expert. So right now I'm going to measure out. Let me see where I can put this that you can see. Although it's not going to be very exciting. I'm going to measure 3 cups of flour. So I have my measuring cup, and pretty sure this is a liquid measuring cup, and I think they do vary a little bit, but this is why I don't bake, because I don't like doing things precisely, and I don't like measuring. So alright, perfect. 2 cups, throw that on top, and then we need 1 more cup of flour. So the original recipe calls for 3 or 4 ripe bananas smashed, and I used only 5 for the recipe for 2 recipes because I had really big bananas. Interpret that as you will. So 3 or 4 bananas, 1/3 of a cup melted butter, 1 cup sugar, or 3/4 of a cup if you don't want a full cup, 1 egg, 1 teaspoon vanilla, 1 teaspoon baking soda, pinch of salt, 1.5 cups all-purpose flour. So that's the original recipe. I've doubled it, so I'm going to end up making 2 loaves of banana bread, even though I'm pretty sure I don't like banana bread that much. But just so you have that information if you're trying to make it. And again, I threw in 1 ripe apple, grated, peeled and grated, and a pinch of cinnamon. And we'll see how that turns out when it's done. So basically, I'm going to mix this up, make sure the flour is all the way incorporated. I'm going to throw it in my buttered loaf, and I'm going to bake it for 1 hour at 350. And I will see you all then when I pull it out the oven and let it cool for a little bit. Alright, see you later. Alright, it's been an hour, and my banana bread, hold on, let me shut my music off. A little sublime action. It's been an hour, and my banana bread is done. I just pulled it out of the oven. So you can see it's got a nice golden brown around the outside. And I'm going to have to let it cool in this pan, you know, until I can let it out. And then at that point, I'll transfer it to a cooling rack like this. And I'm so sneaky that with the second batch, instead of doing another banana bread loaf, I made them into banana bread muffins. And they took about 35 minutes, right on the nose, I'd say. I pulled them out. They've been cooling a little while. I tasted one, and I take back every bad thing I ever said about banana bread because it was delicious. So I hope you enjoy this recipe, and definitely give it a try if you have some bananas laying around. Alrighty, see you later.